Okay, let's unpack this. You ever have those moments where you swear the world around you is just a little off?
Oh, definitely.
Like you ask the barista for a double shot and they reply with this perfectly canned line, like not even making eye contact. And you think, are you? Are you even real?
Or your coworker just freezes mid-sentence, staring blankly ahead for like a solid 5 seconds.
Yes. Like their internal processing unit just completely cracks.
Buffered out, yeah.
I had one just yesterday, tried to make small talk, about the weather. And the response I got felt so algorithmically generated.
Like you'd triggered an NPC dialogue tree.
Exactly. That's
Ah.
exactly what it felt like.
Well, what's fascinating here is that these everyday observations, these little uncanny moments, they might actually point to something, well, quite profound.
Right.
It's easy to just dismiss them as social awkwardness or, someone having a bad day, but what if there's more to it?
Exactly. Which brings us to the big what if of this simulated journey we're about to embark on. What if these glitches, these moments of perceived NPC energy, aren't just random quirks of human behavior? What if they're actually hints?
Hints at a deeper structure to reality.
Yeah. And that gets us to our core premise today. Something that might sound, well, a little out there. Reimagining the third eye.
Okay.
Now, forget the incense and the yoga retreats for just a second. We're not talking about a purely mystical concept today. Not just mystical, anyway.
So if we connect this to the bigger picture of our simulated journey, we're looking at the third eye not as some vague spiritual antenna,
Right.
but as a potential login screen to a simulated reality.
Yes. A login screen. It's a radical departure from the traditional interpretations for sure.
Definitely shifts the perspective.
Absolutely. So buckle up because we're about to dive deep. We're going way back, exploring ancient wisdom. Then we'll get squishy with the biology of the pineal gland.
The pineal gland, interesting.
Take a mind-bending trip through simulation theory. And then, the fun part, we'll look at examples from mythology, pop culture, and those wonderfully weird, alleged real-world glitches.
Okay, so it's like we're trying to debug the universe.
Kind of. Debugging the universe, one source at a time.
So this third eye, what actually is it? Why has it captured human imagination across so many different times and cultures?
Right. Good question. So this isn't some, newfangled internet conspiracy.
Yeah.
The concept of a third eye has some serious historical cred.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at Hindu and Tantric traditions, you've got the Ajna chakra, and for those unfamiliar, that's considered the energy center located between the eyebrows.
Right, the brow chakra.
Yeah. It's regarded as the seat of intuition, of direct knowing. It's about inner vision, accessing higher consciousness, almost like unlocking a hidden perception stat in your spiritual skill tree, maybe.
That's a great analogy. Unlocking a stat. It's seen as a way to perceive realities beyond our normal five senses.
And it pops up in other ancient cultures too, right?
Totally. Think about the ancient Egyptian Eye of Horus.
Oh, yeah, the Eye of Horus. Very iconic.
It's this powerful symbol associated with protection, royal power, health, even restoration. You could almost see that as a symbol of, like, system integrity.
System integrity. Maintaining the code, maybe? Perceiving threats or imbalances?
Perhaps.
Yeah.
And if we connect this to Buddhist philosophy, the third eye is often linked to enlightenment, seeing reality with clarity, free from illusions.
Like dispelling the fog of war in a game.
Exactly. Revealing the true nature of things.
So across these different traditions, you've got this consistent idea. The third eye is about seeing more than what's immediately obvious.
Mm-hmm. Seeing beyond the surface.
It's tied to intuition, higher consciousness, a deeper understanding of reality. Like they all intuitively knew there was more to the picture.
Which leads us to the biology bit, the pineal gland.
Right. Enter a tiny but potentially significant piece of biological hardware, the pineal gland. So could this be our biological center for the simulation's light cycles, like the first stage of logging in each day?
That's a fascinating question as we move through our simulated journey. The pineal gland, this small gland deep in the center of the brain. Scientifically, its primary known role is regulating our sleep-wake cycles.
Melatonin production.
Exactly, through melatonin. It's our body's internal clock, responding to light and darkness detected by our eyes.
Okay, totally. But this little gland has also attracted a lot of philosophical and, shall we say, more out there attention.
Oh, for sure. Like Descartes.
Yeah. Back in the 17th century, Descartes, that famous thinker, called it the principal seat of the soul. This key interface between our mind and our physical body.
The seat of the soul. That gave it a significance way beyond just melatonin.
And it resonates with our login screen concept, doesn't it? This idea of an interface.
It really does. Descartes saw it as the point where the immaterial mind interacted with the physical brain, a potential bridge between different realms of existence.
And it gets even weirder if you look at evolution.
The parietal eye.
Exactly. Some lower vertebrates actually have a parietal eye, a literal third eye on top of their head that's directly sensitive to light.
Wow.
While our pineal gland is tucked away inside, its sensitivity to light indirectly through our regular eyes makes you wonder, does it retain some vestigial sensor capabilities? Maybe it's not just about sleep cycles.
That evolutionary connection is fascinating. It really hints at a history of light perception beyond just our two main eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have the controversial stuff, like Dr. Rick Strassman's DMT hypothesis.
Yeah, the spirit molecule idea, suggesting the pineal gland might produce this powerful psychedelic compound, BMT, linked to mystical experiences, near-death stuff, dreams.
Highly speculative, of course.
Oh, definitely in the highly speculative category.
Yeah.
But the idea that our own brains might be capable of producing something that induces these profound reality-bending states is pretty wild.
And then you've got the New Age and esoteric views, seeing the pineal gland as this like dormant spiritual organ.
A gateway to higher dimensions that just needs to be, activated or decalcified.
Right. So we have this biological structure with a clear function regulating circadian rhythms, but it also has this rich history of philosophical significance and these more unconventional speculative associations.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting in our simulated journey. Could this pineal gland, this tiny piece of hardware sensitive to light, historically linked to consciousness, could it be the physical port for our metaphorical login screen?
The hardware port.
Yeah. Could specific states meditation, maybe even naturally occurring DMT release, be what's needed to bring that login screen online?
Like the biological underpinnings for the metaphysical interface.
Exactly.
That line of thinking beautifully bridges the ancient wisdom about the third eye with our modern simulation-inspired perspective. It gives a potential physical anchor to this idea of an inner gateway.
All right, so we've got the historical and biological groundwork laid. Now let's dive headfirst into the digital rabbit hole, simulation theory.
Welcome to the construct, as Neo might say. At its heart, simulation theory proposes that our entire reality, everything we perceive, might not be fundamental reality, but rather a meticulously crafted computer simulation.
Like the most advanced video game imaginable, scaled up to encompass the entire universe.
Pretty much. Think The Sims, but cosmic scale, with ridiculously realistic graphics.
And the unsettling possibility that our little simulated avatars are actually conscious.
And it's not just sci-fi anymore, right? There's a serious philosophical argument behind it.
Nick Bostrom's argument.
Exactly. Nick Bostrom's simulation argument. It suggests that if technologically advanced civilizations are likely to create vast numbers of detailed ancestor simulations.
Like simulations of their own past.
Yeah, or just any simulation. Then statistically, it's actually more probable that we are living in one of those simulations than in the original base reality.
Because there would just be so many more simulated beings than real ones.
Precisely. The sheer number of simulated beings would vastly outweigh those in base reality. So, if advanced sims are possible and likely, we're statistically more likely to be in one than not. The sheer volume tips the scales.
Wow. So are we all just incredibly complex NPCs in some future civilization's historical reenactment? Or maybe we're the players in their ultra-realistic strategy game? A bit of a mind bender.
It really is. And pop culture has definitely run with this idea massively.
Oh, yeah.
Pop culture has been instrumental in popularizing simulation theory, and The Matrix is undoubtedly the prime example.
Absolutely. It gave us this powerful imagery of a simulated world, seeing the underlying code, glitches revealing the fake reality.
Seeing the world as lines of green code, that's a visual that definitely sticks with you.
For sure. And beyond The Matrix, you've got films like Existence Z.
Oh, yeah, Existence Z, where the lines between the game and reality become terrifyingly blurred through those, like, biological game pods. Super weird.
Totally weird. Or Dark City, where reality itself is constantly being reshaped by these shadowy figures.
And let's not forget series like Westworld.
Right. The AI hosts gradually awaken to the fact that their entire world is a simulation.
Yeah, leading them to question their programming, try to access the underlying systems.
Even something lighter like Free Guy, explores an NPC gaining self-awareness and starting to see the game's mechanics, the HUD elements and stuff.
It's like these stories are tapping into a collective unease, maybe, a subconscious awareness that things might not be exactly as they seem.
So why does this whole simulation theory thing resonate so much with us today? Why now?
Well, several factors probably contribute. Our increasing dependence on digital tech, immersion in virtual worlds, it makes the idea of a simulated reality feel more plausible, maybe less alien.
Like we live so much online already.
Kind of. Plus, the rapid advancements in VR and AI suggest that creating really convincing simulations might be within our reach eventually. If we can do it, maybe someone else already did.
Okay, makes sense.
It also offers a potential explanation, albeit a speculative one, for unexplained phenomena, those weird glitches, coincidences, déjà vu moments we sometimes experience.
It's almost like simulation theory has become our modern mythology, hasn't it?
That's a great way to put it.
Ancient cultures had their stories about gods and spirits to explain the universe. Now, in a technological age, we have these narratives about code and simulations tackling those same big existential questions.
And sci-fi, like The Matrix, acts as our modern myths, giving these abstract ideas a tangible, visual form.
Exactly. It provides a framework for understanding the weirdness of existence in a way that aligns with our current technological understanding.
And this sets the stage perfectly for our next leap in our simulated journey, connecting this modern mythology of simulation with the ancient idea of the third eye.
Okay, so we've got the third eye as this mystical portal for heightened perception, seeing beyond the veil. And we've got the very real possibility, at least theoretically, that we're living in a giant computer program. Let's smash these two ideas together. What if the third eye isn't just a metaphor for inner wisdom, but literally the login screen to the simulation?
Okay, this is where our simulated journey gets really interesting. If we seriously consider our reality as a simulation, then the traditional functions attributed to the third eye can be reinterpreted through a digital lens.
Right, like intuition. Traditionally, it's that gut feeling, right? That sense of knowing without conscious reasoning. In a simulation, could that be like passively receiving system notifications? Or maybe accessing cached predictive data?
Like our subconscious mind processing the underlying code and giving us a heads up.
Yeah. Think of it like reading system logs running in the background. You don't always see them, but they're there.
Exactly. And what about insight or clarity? That subtle aha moment, understanding how things truly are.
In the simulation model, that could be like perceiving the underlying structure, right? Seeing the code beneath the surface.
Almost like viewing the source code or gaining root access to the system.
Root access. Like having the admin password to reality, allowing you to see, maybe even change, fundamental settings.
And seeing beyond the physical, traditionally auras, energy fields.
Instead, maybe that's about detecting the boundaries of the simulation, spotting those glitches in the matrix, or even distinguishing between other conscious players and the non-player characters, the NPCs.
Like switching on a wireframe mode.
Right.
Or a heat map overlay showing what's truly active and what's just background processing.
Totally. And accessing higher consciousness instead of some purely spiritual awakening.
Perhaps that's about gaining privileged access within the simulation, like getting admin privileges and being able to observe or even manipulate the system's parameters.
And what about our old friend, the pineal gland? Could that be the physical hardware for this login screen?
The biological modem, or receptor,
Yeah.
tuning into the simulation signals.
Yeah, and those altered states, maybe triggered by things like DMT, could they be like forcing a reboot into safe mode? Or revealing a debug overlay?
It's a compelling analogy. It really is. And this raises so many questions about the act of logging in.
Like, is it passive? Just becoming aware of the code and glitches?
Or is it active? Can we interact with it, change things?
What triggers it? Is there a specific password or technique? Meditation? Something else?
And what are the risks? Could we attract the attention of the admins, or maybe even crash our own system, cause a blue screen of death for our consciousness?
Huh. Right. It's like we're trying to figure out the user manual for reality, assuming there even is one. We actually put together a little cheat sheet here comparing the traditional third eye functions with their potential login screen equivalents.
Oh, nice. With geeky analogies?
The suitably geeky analogies, of course.
Okay, let's hear it. This table could really help visualize the connection.
All right, so traditional intuition, knowing without reasoning, login screen model, reading system logs or cache analogy, passive data stream or background process check.
Okay, makes sense. Like checking your system monitor. What about enlightenment?
Traditional enlightenment, seeing ultimate reality. Login screen, perceiving the code or gaining admin access. Analogy, viewing source code, getting root access, or opening the developer console.
Nice. Clairvoyance, seeing distant events.
Login screen, detecting data streams or player versus NPC signatures. Analogy, network traffic analysis, or checking player tags overhead.
Ah, player tags. Okay, precognition, seeing the future.
Login screen, accessing predictive algorithms or scripting. Analogy, reading the quest log or analyzing AI behavior patterns in a game.
Quest log for life. Interesting. And inner vision, seeing non-physical reality.
Login screen, viewing simulation boundaries or debug mode. Analogy, wireframe mode, collision mesh view, or a heat map overlay.
It's all about mapping these ancient ideas onto a modern technological framework. It actually fits surprisingly well.
Doesn't it? It's kind of spooky how well it maps.
So now, the fun part of our simulated journey, looking for evidence. If the third eye is a login screen, then we should see hints of this in mythology, pop culture, and even in those strange, alleged real-world glitches people report.
Exactly. Let's start way back. Ancient oracles, like the one at Delphi.
Okay, the Oracle of Delphi, famous for prophecies.
People went to them seeking knowledge of the future, right? Yeah. Could that be seen as early users trying to ping the server for information, or accessing future state data within the simulation?
And the fact that their prophecies were often cryptic, ambiguous, open to interpretation.
Maybe that's just poorly parsed data, like getting a garbled message from the server.
That's a fascinating way to look at it. And what about vision quests, shamanic journeys?
Right. These often involve altered states of consciousness, aiming to gain hidden knowledge or navigate unseen realms.
Could those be deliberate attempts to trigger the login sequence? To hack the world code and access deeper levels of the simulation?
It's like ancient spiritual practices were early forms of trying to get behind the curtain to see the code.
And then you look at science fiction, and it's almost like they're directly visualizing this concept, the Matrix being the ultimate example.
Neo literally seeing the code, bending the physics. The agents are like the system's security processes, the antivirus.
And deja vu,
Okay.
total glitch in the system, a hiccup in the code execution.
Absolutely. And think about Dark City. The protagonist develops the ability to tune reality.
Essentially hacking the simulation. And the strangers act like the sysadmins trying to maintain control.
And exist in Z, blurring the lines with those direct neural interfaces. Westworld, showing AI hosts becoming aware, altering their own code.
And Free Guy, the NPC, literally starts seeing the game's HUD and mechanics. He's listening into his simulated nature.
It's not just movies and shows either. Even in video games, think about mechanics like detective vision in Batman or eagle vision in Assassin's Creed.
Right, they let you see hidden information, tracks, enemies through walls.
Almost like fictional versions of an enhanced perception mode that reveals the underlying data streams of the game world or, reality.
And then we have the wild world of alleged real-world glitches in the Matrix and NPC reports that pop up online, often from anonymous sources.
Oh, yeah. We have to approach these with a healthy dose of skepticism and humor, obviously.
Absolutely. But they're certainly interesting to consider through this lens.
The internet is just full of these stories. Objects teleporting across a room, time skips where you lose a few seconds, duplicated cars.
You could playfully interpret those as rendering errors in the simulation, or physics bugs, asset loading failures, network lag.
Totally. And the NPC behavior stories those moments where people seem stuck in repetitive loops, like saying the same phrase over and over, or giving completely nonsensical answers to simple questions.
Could that be poorly coded AI? Or maybe low-priority background processes malfunctioning? Script errors?
And don't forget the Mandela effect, where huge groups of people share the same distinct but false memory.
Right, like remembering Nelson Mandela dying in prison or the Berenstain Bears spelling.
Is that evidence of reality being patched or updated, like a software update? But with some memory files not quite syncing up properly across all users.
It's important to remember these are anecdotal accounts, and there are often mundane psychological explanations like confabulation or suggestibility.
Of course. Cognitive biases are real.
But the fact that these stories resonate with so many people and fit so neatly into the simulation theory framework is certainly intriguing.
And the more we talk about this stuff, the more we're primed to notice these things, aren't we? It creates a bit of a feedback loop.
Definitely a confirmation bias risk. Are we actually logging in and seeing glitches, or are we just looking for patterns that confirm our suspicions? Because the idea is in our heads.
Right. It's like our brains are running a glitch detection subroutine and maybe finding patterns where none truly exist. But It's fun to think about.
It certainly is. And to really lean into the NTC energy vibe, we can start incorporating more of this geeky language into how we talk about reality itself.
Oh, I'm all for that. We could talk about societal problems as needing a patch update.
Or awkward social interactions as someone's social interaction script bugging out.
Feeling tired? Clearly, I'm running life on low graphical settings today.
Huh. And when something really weird happens, we can just ask, is this a feature or a bug?
Exactly. We could even frame meditation as accessing the dev console of consciousness.
And when we encounter everyday mishaps, like tripping on nothing, we can use terms like clipping through the geometry.
Or blame it on a lag spike in reality. Perfect.
This is great. And we definitely need to get our listeners involved in our simulated journey.
Absolutely. We should ask them to share their best NPC sightings and glitch in the matrix stories. We need more data.
And maybe a poll. What would your third eye login screen look like? Minimalist, retro, full of stats.
Ooh, I like that. And the ultimate question. If you could enter one reality cheat code, what would it be?
Infinite money. God mode. No clue.
Motherload, obviously, for some of us sim players out there.
We could even develop recurring sound effects for when we mention a glitch, like a little static burst.
Yes. Or come up with our own unique terminology for particularly strange NPC behavior. This will really help build the show's identity, the NPC energy identity.
So, we've taken quite the simulated journey today, haven't we?
We really have. We started by noticing those everyday moments of NTC energy.
The robotic barista.
Then dove into the ancient concept of the third eye and its link to the pineal gland. Took a wild ride through simulation theory.
And ended up suggesting that maybe, just maybe, our third eye is actually the login screen to this whole bizarre reality.
We've mashed up mysticism, biology, philosophy, and a whole lot of geek culture.
And if this idea of a login screen is even remotely plausible, even as just a metaphor, it opens up some fascinating questions.
Like, can we consciously access it? What methods would we use? Meditation, technology, something else?
What would we even perceive if we did log in? Raw code, a deeper understanding of the rules, the purpose of it all.
Would we just be observers with read-only access? Or could we actually interact with and manipulate the parameters of reality? Get right access.
Reality cheat code.
And the big one. What would the existential impact be? Would it be liberating to understand the underlying structure, or terrifying to realize we might not have the free will we think we do?
Would life become a game, or would we feel trapped in a prison of code?
Or maybe logging in is simply about becoming more self-aware, choosing to break free from our own programmed behaviors, those moments where we act like NPCs.
Perhaps the real login screen isn't some mystical eye or biological port, but something far more subtle. Maybe it's that fleeting feeling of real connection with another person, that moment of genuine surprise.
Or even just that weird flicker you catch in your peripheral vision.
Keep an eye out for those glitches. Try to debug your own internal code every now and then.
And remember, even if you feel like an NPC sometimes, you always have the potential to try and drake the script.
Well said.
Exactly. So, if you are a human, share, rate, follow NPT Energy to prove it. Welcome to the NPC Energy Podcast, a weekly top 10 show where we wonder if reality is just a great simulation and if the Matrix was a documentary, with tales of glitches and funky theories, all told in a fun and fascinating way. So, if you are human, share, rate, follow NPC Energy to prove it.